You know, I don't know if in my entire career I've ever read a sentence that's more of a roller coaster than what I'm about to read. So here we go. Quote, at the request of Kid Rock, President Trump has agreed to meet with comedian Bill Maher at the White House. Boy, there's a lot in that sentence. The president saying, I really didn't like the idea much and don't like it much now, but thought it would be interesting. The problem is, no matter how much he likes your favorite president, me, he will publicly proclaim what a terrible guy I am. Who knows, though? Maybe I'll be proven wrong. There's a lot in that quote, too. Fox News contributor and senior writer for the Washington Examiner, Joe Concha, joins me now. Joe, take it away. What's your take on this?
I'll say it once, I'll say it again, Todd. Bill Maher is the reasonable voice, the pragmatic voice of the Democratic Party. There are people on the left, and there are many, who make a living off of trashing the sitting president as a fascist, as Hitler, a dictator, and that gets them their next contract and a lot of attention from the extremes on social media. Bill Maher doesn't care about any of that. His show has survived for decades because he's unpredictable. He says things that maybe his audience in Los Angeles doesn't like. That takes some guts. And let's think about what this says about President Trump. He very easily could cite all the horrible things that Maher has said about him over the years. He very easily could have turned this down, and not one person would have blamed him. But it is beyond smart, both street smart and politically, for Trump to meet with Maher, because for starters, it will drive the left crazy. It's the ultimate troll. And also, and I talked to Caroline Levitt about this, he likes to listen to different people to help shape his worldview. So here we go. And I don't think Trump is going to trash Maher afterwards. He'll probably say that he's a great guy and he appreciates meeting with him. And again, politically, this is the right thing to do. Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or anybody on the left certainly wouldn't do the same for Greg Gutfeld or Jimmy Fallon or Kennedy. That I do know.
Yeah, I'm just obsessed with the fact that Kid Rock brokered this deal. I mean, what's next for Kid Rock? We're going to do peace in the Middle East? What are we going to do? The Russia-Ukraine war? Who knows? Dogs and cats coming together all because of Mr. Ritchie, one Kid Rock. Congrats to you,
Mass hysteria.
I love it. I want to get your thoughts on this. White House Correspondents Association has abruptly canceled anti-Trump comedian Amber Ruffin from headlining their annual dinner. Here's the sanitized quote from the association president, writing the following. I want to ensure the focus is not on the politics of division, but entirely on awarding our colleagues for their outstanding work in providing scholarship and mentorship to the next generation of journalists. That seems all well and good. So you may be wondering, what is it that Amber Ruffin said that ruffled so many feathers? Listen.
Oh, that
you're kind of a bunch of murderers. I mean, so like they were like, you need to be, equal and make sure that that you give it to both sides and blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be freaking doing that, dude. Under no circumstance. And they want that false equivalency that the media does. They want that. It feels great. It makes them feel like human beings. But They shouldn't get to feel that way because they're not.
Joe's so excited he jumped his cue. I'm no expert like you, Joe, but this comedian referring to President Trump and his administration as murderers possibly led to her cancellation from the event. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's Sarcasm Monday. Yeah, this alleged comedian should have never been hired in the first place. Yeah, you refer to people as murderers? Boy, that's hilarious. Can't wait to hear more of that. Overall, Todd, legacy media has a serious image problem because every year the White House Correspondents Association, for the White House Correspondents' Dinner, they do the lazy thing and they just hire somebody from Comedy Central, or in this case, we should mention that Amber Ruffin is the lead writer for Seth Meyers, who is positively insufferable. You can't tell MSNBC from late night comedy on NBC these days. So overall, the dinner turns into a big roast of the type of people that MSNBC loves, or Seth Meyers and the friends and relatives that watch that show do, and average folks just tune out. So this was the right move by the White House Correspondents Association. Hopefully they hire somebody who just, as Amber just mentioned, gives it to both sides because there's plenty of material to go around, and just celebrates the dinner for what it should be and the scholarships that it offers to future journalists, instead of being a DNC fundraiser, which it has been, quite frankly, for the last 12, 15, 20 years.
They got about 4 weeks to figure it all out. Get moving, White House correspondents. Finally, New York Democrat Richie Torres says Democrats need to abandon the far left to reconnect with voters. Listen to this.
We should strive for simple, repeatable messages, nothing fancy, like lower cost, safe streets, secure borders, protect Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, make government work for working people. That should be our platform. Ignore the fashionable nonsense.
Look, in the words of philosopher Billie Eilish, duh. But can that message break through with your Jasmine Crockett's and your AOC sucking up all the oxygen in the room, Joe?
You are on a roll today,
I'm sorry.
Pyro. I'm very appreciative to be here. Look, the Democratic Party has two choices. One is to go further to the left, embrace the likes of AOC, Bernie Sanders, Goofy Tim Walz, Jasmine Crockett, who's the new AOC, who only just called for Elon Musk to be taken out and for Ted Cruz to be beaten over the head. Yeah, that's the person you want on the air a lot more if you're a Republican. So the party can either move to the center, as Bill Clinton so wisely did in 1994, and work with Newt Gingrich on declaring that the era of big government is over, signing legislation on welfare reform and this foreign concept called balanced budget and the amendment that went along with that led to surpluses at the end of the 90s. Or the Democrats could continue driving that car right off a cliff, like at the end of, Thelma and Louise, and embrace the far left, as they seem to be doing, as they did during the 2024 election with Kamala Harris and the aforementioned Goofy Tim Walz. They're not going to win any national elections anytime soon. We're a center-right country, Todd. Common sense rules. Embrace common sense or go to the left and decide who wins.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.